good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all. And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
We back.
Yes, and we want to say rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
To D'Angelo.
Yeah, man.
Amazing neo-soul R&B artist of our decades.
Yeah.
And he passed away at 51 years old. Originally from Richmond, Virginia. Mm-hmm. Stayed up in New York City, spent some time there, and was living there when he passed away. Believe it was prostate cancer.
Yes.
That he passed on. Musician, singer, multi-instrumentalist, producer, and all like just everything to our music industry and everything to hip hop and neo soul. And so we want to spend some time talking about his rise, his descent out of stardom, and then his catalog, his contributions, and then his impact. Those are the things that we really want to discuss on this episode. And hopefully you'll stick around with us and subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to wherever you can find this podcast, and also make sure to share it with other people so they can enjoy it as well. So first, talking about his rise, his early days as a musician. Do you remember him performing on Apollo as a kid?
I don't.
I watched Apollo religiously with Sinbad as the host, and then later on it transitioned to Steve Harvey, who was host of Apollo. I remember D'Angelo performing at a very young age on those stages and just absolutely like giving people the chills based off of his performances. And he continued to perform at the Apollo many times, and so that's kind of where he got his start. Mm-hmm. And then he moved on to do Brown Sugar, and then subsequently Voodoo, which was his really just his claim to fame, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And before his passing, 10 years prior to now, he released Black Messiah.
Yeah.
So, what was your impression of D'Angelo when he first came out?
My impression was, it's one of the songs you just sang. Like, I remember singing Lady and Brown Sugar all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, if it came on, you just want to
get girls.
No, not at that age, because that was, let me see, that was 1996. So I'm still like listening to Pokemon. It's just like, or watching Pokemon, and like this is just music. Like, I love music. And R&B for the 90s is something that you just kind of had to experience. Mm-hmm. Whether, like it was parroting I Believe I Can Fly or any of those songs. Like,
sorry.
What?
You say, I was just at a conference.
Yeah.
And they were demoing some robots for classes.
Oh, this is okay. Go ahead.
And one of the robots was programmed to not only sing "I Believe I Can Fly," but like tilt down and put its arms out and like.
No.
Sorry.
Get out of here,
so
bro. That's crazy.
That just triggered a reaction. I was just like, Robot Kelly is on.
Robot Kelly
is up there performing for us.
That's nuts.
And also, I don't know if I would let Robot Kelly perform that song in front of my students.
But
anyway,
but you know what I'm talking about, right? Just that general experience of like singing those songs, not knowing any of what they mean, but just singing the song because it feels good. It sounds good. It has a resonance in my soul in that way.
I think at that time, I knew of D'Angelo from hearing the songs, right? So, being introduced with, kind of Brown Sugar and that song specifically, Jason's Lyric original soundtrack, you will know. Like there's some things that I just kind of heard through the grapevine, the Space Jam soundtrack, Belly, and so Devil's Pie was on Belly and Voodoo soundtrack. But then How Does It Feel was at least my introduction to him as a superstar, so to speak. And also, I was jealous of his abs.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I think that I had one of those moments of like wanting to get that type of body. Like I want to, like, it wasn't something where I'm sitting here like, ew, what you doing? Like, I can't watch this video. It was just like, man, I want to do that. I want that.
I didn't want to watch the video.
I don't know what yeah.
But I was like, oh, that's what the girls are into at the time. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah. And it's 2000, so I'm like, what, 7th, 8th grade, something like that?
Just about.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know, there was just something different about that, especially once he got to that point, because it was insane. Like I knew what his video was doing to the landscape of music, or at least to the appeal of what, like you said, what women were wanting at that time. And it was just like, oh, this is nuts. And on top of that, the song was insane.
Yeah, so the song is excellent, right? The song is great and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the visuals took it over the top, and maybe that's a good segue to like talk about like how those visuals really sort of rocked his world.
Yeah.
Because after that release of Voodoo, he had to take a step back. He went through some things, he experienced some things, and he was this quote unquote involuntary sex symbol. And that didn't make him comfortable. If you go and watch any of D'Angelo's long form conversations, one of the big ones that are still out there is with Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been watching it for the past couple days, and one thing that I noticed about his personality is that he's a musician's musician.
Yes.
He is reserved. He has played the guitar and the bass and piano and all of these things. Like he is really a musical, nerdy type of person.
Yeah.
And is just into making good music and playing instruments and producing. And if you know anything about those personality traits, that doesn't really fit well with celebrity. Always.
Yeah. And it definitely doesn't fit well with sex symbol. And like that in the 2000s meant pandemonium. So
right.
A sex symbol didn't mean, okay, we just think this person is attractive. It literally meant you could not go anywhere, because if they saw him somewhere, that's people running up, bum rushing, trying to tear his shirt off, like taking just pictures. To have a piece of his shirt that they can like. Debauchery is what they're going against. Like, no, seriously, like utter debauchery, because that's the expectation of what a sex symbol was, especially in the 2000s. Like, it wasn't like, okay, this is weird for you guys to run after this bus and like swarm this bus. And being the kind of savant, musician, creative that he was, that drove him to just pull back from everything. Like, it was to the point to where I thought that he had passed or something.
Yeah, I didn't ever feel that way. Because he'd pop out every once in a while and do collaborations and things of that nature. So I knew he was around. I also, was a fan of his collaborations. And so we've talked a little bit, not much in depth about his catalog, which, in my opinion, his catalog is important. But I think his contribution to music is way more important than his catalog specifically.
I mean, we call him the father of neo soul, bro. Like, that's the contribution of basically how people giving it to him, creating a genre, creating a place, whether it's the Erykah Badu's, the Jill Scotts, Angie Stone, like those artists. Like, when you hear it, you can't separate him from it.
No.
And that's like, your impact is so large in regards to this specific type of music, what we think about it, what we feel it should sound like, how we feel about it. Like, we compare, like, any neo soul thing I hear, I compare it to those people.
Yeah. So if, like, what, Shea Butter Baby was a person?
Yep. If Shea Butter Baby was a person, it would be neo soul.
Right. So, like, if you put on D'Angelo, what type, like, you can kind of typecast a person that would be like super into it. They go home, they light the incense, they light their candles, and
they put on Love Jones, and like,
right.
they're in their bag, and that is so crazy, because it shows the potency. And we were talking about this off air, of R&B artists, right? My man had 3 albums, bro. Just 3. But the quality and the impact of those 3 albums, those features, the Soulquarians, which is, the huge collective and stuff in between him.
We'll come back to Soulquarians, but stay here, because stay here on the fact that, like, his work being so deep and impactful was, you made the point that hip hop artists can't do that.
No.
Hip hop artists can't release so little work and, like, sort of disappear without being forgotten in this way.
Right.
So it's similar to, like, Frank Ocean's phenomena. You know what I mean? If we're thinking about, like, time periods, there's D'Angelo, and then his generational counterpart, if we flash forward, might be Frank Ocean.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think the reason why they're successful at releasing so little is because the emotional impact with the work is different from the emotional impact with hip hop. Hip hop doesn't always have that emotional driver. Hip hop is sort of logical and rational in some ways. There's obvious emotional impact when you're listening to hip hop. So I don't want to minimize how people feel about hip hop records, but, like, it's different when somebody's singing.
Yeah,
it's different when somebody is playing original music on an R&B track. You know what I mean? It's different when somebody is channeling the blues and jazz and rock and soul music into something that is not only feels modern, but, like, has all of these rooted elements.
And it was very calculated. Like, I think when coming up with the term neo soul or new soul, there was so many things that I think that they were pulling from and evolving. Like, neo soul to me is the jazziest R&B, poetic R&B that you can possibly get.
Yeah.
And for them to create this lane where we wouldn't consider it jazz sometimes. Like you hear it and you just hear their voices, you hear the pattern, you hear the types of people that we talk about. And it is such an experience. It is an actual experience of music that is like he was revolutionary in that sense. Like I can listen to those songs and be in a time capsule, but still feel modern because I don't feel like there's an age on that type of music.
There isn't. And I think what you're getting at is elements of jazz. So the drum work that he did on Voodoo with Questlove and other collaborators on that record, even the engineer was somebody that was critical to the flow of that project. And working with Questlove had to learn how to like drum out of pocket and be a part of the improvisation and move like a jazz artist on a neo soul project. And the type of like soul and emotion you hear from a Jay Dilla beat is what they were able to perform live.
Yes,
in the studio.
Yeah.
And so being a counterpart of Jay Dilla during this era of Dilla, The Roots, Erykah Badu,
Q-Tip,
Tribe Called Quest,
Raphael Sadiq,
Mos Def, James Poisner.
Yeah.
Like those folks not only were a part of the sound landscape for neo soul and hip hop and everything like that whole time period where like you could be a backpack kid and be considered cool. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so that group not only set the soundscape, but they were instrumental in helping each other's work be propelled as Soulquarians. I absolutely fell in love with their work and fell in love with some of this history when I was doing college radio.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I would dive into their projects, and then every once in a while, I would hear elements of somebody else on their work. So like Dilla would work with Questlove and Common and Bilal, and Q-Tip would work with Mos Def and Talib.
Yeah.
And then Talib and Common would work together. And then like you had so many individuals just kind of collaborating within that circle, mixing and mingling between Detroit, New York City, and Chicago, where like these individuals were pulling something out of each other that just kind of laid the foundation for like that period in music. And I felt like that period in music, for me at least, was one of the most impactful times for me to get into songwriting. And if I'm really gonna think about it, like all of these people were super inspirational to the music I make today.
They were inspirational in being like the soundtrack to my writing, and definitely for like when I started writing poetry. Like I wouldn't think of whatever pop song was out, I would think the same, like Love Jones. Like you literally, it's like this unilateral connection point between how the music sounds and what it brings out of you, right? Like if you think about a Jay Dilla beat and the emotion and how that flows, you think about a Roots album and the fact that there's always something that Questlove and Black Thought and every the entire collective are doing to shift the culture. Like I think about even Talib Kweli's music. Like you hear it and you feel it. It's not something to where you were getting so lost in the hip hop of it all in a certain way. Like The Light.
But it was hip hop. I
Yes.
think that's the thing is that like you can't describe what is by trying to attach an adjective to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like hip hop. It is hip hop in its essence,
Yeah.
and that's because like these people embodied like going to the studio, being organic,
Yeah.
being around in the room, improvising, talking to each other and collaborating. There was everything that's natural and not commercialized
Yes,
about
that is what I'm saying, yes.
about their work. And D'Angelo was smack dab in the middle of that, which is why I believe that like D'Angelo needed to step away from the industry,
Yeah.
because the industry, in my opinion, would screw all of that up.
I'm just like so thankful in a lot of different ways that we didn't lose him to that, because we've lost many artists to their reclusion. Like, so
Right.
to get Black Messiah was kind of like, oh, you're in a safe space.
Right.
And you're creating from this safe space. And even like the features. So like Nothing Even Matters with Lauryn Hill is like, that song plays in my head in certain ways of just connection point to like listening to that album with my sister and like deeping like these albums and their emotional construct in me, right? Whether it's Voodoo or Brown Sugar, like those albums, no matter where you are like the soundtrack to love. And that feeling and being able to just kind of understand certain things. And I think him having that power in such a, like, the quantity is not high, y'all. Like, it's just
No.
not. Like, even on the albums, like, it'll be like 10 songs, I think 10 songs on first album and then like 13 songs on Voodoo. Like, no missed opportunities to me. And the depth of that type of artist and the reach that he had in terms of the different creation points, like the fact that him and Raphael Sadiq working together, and that Raphael had Lady already put together, and what D'Angelo did with it is, I can't fathom these things, bro. Like I feel like there is talent within me, but then there's like these generational talents like D'Angelo where it's like, but that is just different. And when you see it, you can't put your finger on it. You just feel it and you know it's different from everything else that you've seen.
I think it goes back to not being manufactured.
Yeah.
It's not manufactured. It's homemade.
Yeah.
It is. I'm in the kitchen. I have all of these ingredients.
Yeah.
I'm spending my time with it. I'm gonna mise en place, and I'm gonna like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure the temperature is exactly right. I'm gonna make sure that I cook this to the right degree and the right depth. I'm gonna check these flavors as I'm going on. Like he talked about with Questlove working on Voodoo, that they would just be in the studio just sketching stuff. And then when something, and they would study greats like Prince and Stevie. And then once they studied those individuals and found a soundscape that they wanted to recreate, they would keep making stuff until they stumbled upon something that they wanted to finish.
Yep.
And so those 13 tracks may have been out of 50 or 100. So like, I get it sometimes when people want to make more and more quantity, and I'm in that space right now where like quantity is a part of what I'm doing, but I'm also spending like months working on a single song.
Yeah.
And I'm also not selecting songs that like I can't dive in and put my soul into, you know, when I'm working on it. And so I think that's the essence of what we're looking for as musicians, is to harness that impact and then translate that into the music and then translate that to the fans.
I have one little small side public service announcement. So I know BT, Soul Train, and anybody else. I know that y'all are already wheels turning, thinking about constructing some form of dedication for this man in terms of what he meant, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, don't pull out nobody that can't sing.
Nope.
Don't waste my time.
Nope.
Don't piss me off.
Nope.
Don't I good luck with that, bro.
That's even if we get a BET Awards anymore.
I don't. There's gonna be a tribute somewhere. Somebody's gonna do a tribute.
The Grammys.
The Grammys.
I like they're gonna do it.
Don't waste my time. Please don't grab anybody. Like, I ain't got no problem with nobody that uses auto-tune, but that ain't this.
Go get Frank. I think Frank would do it right.
Frank would do it right. I also appreciate Elmi. That's one of the newer artists, and I get it. He's a UK-based cat, but the fact that like singing Untitled is what got him his deal says a lot, and I think he makes a lot of the emotional music of like how the 90s used to be at such a young age.
Or just get D'Angelo's friends.
That would also be fine.
Get his friends.
But
get
care.
Lauren to do it. Or Erica. Or somebody.
Jill. Doesn't matter. Just take care.
Right.
All I'm saying is take care. Please don't give me people who you think can sing. You don't have to get every young person in the world. This is something that I think deserves care. And I really want to say that just as an aside, because it's like, it's very important to me when we do these things to do them right, because people deserve to be honored for the things that they do. And I know D'Angelo probably got a lot of flowers while he was here. But I am a person that like give somebody, when they've done a good service and changed things for a generation, the appreciation that they deserve. And he is one of those artists that deserves that to me.
Agreed. So I think that's it.
But yeah, so rest in peace to D'Angelo. Play those songs. I pray that his estate is well taken care of and that his family gets all of these streams, because I know he is being like, the streams are going crazy for this man.
Right.
And yeah, so let us know how you feel about D'Angelo. What's your favorite song, favorite record? Let us know down in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next piece. A 1 and a 2 and peace.